Good morning, welcome to the Scrumptious Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make some delicious, fluffy buttermilk biscuits. So I have my oven preheating to 425 and I have lined a small baking sheet with parchment paper. If you do not have a convection oven, go ahead and preheat to 450. All right, so let's get started. So first I'm going to start by measuring out 2 cups of flour. And as I've told everyone time and time again, we scoop it into the cup and then level to avoid overfilling or underfilling each cup. We don't want too much or too little flour in our biscuits. So that's 1. And 2. You're going to see how easy these come together and just how quick they are. All right, there's 2 cups of flour right there. Get that out of my way. And to that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to give that a quick whisk. And let me go grab my cubed butter out of the refrigerator, and I'll be right back. All right, here I have 6 tablespoons of cold cubed butter. We're going to add that in. All right. And I'm going to just give that a gentle stir to coat most of those cubes with the flour and lightly break them up. Okay. And then I'm going to use what's called a pastry blender to get them blended, in with the flour until they look like coarse breadcrumbs. So this is what a pastry blender looks like. Oh, that's my oven telling me it's ready. If you don't have a pastry blender, you can either go in with your fingers and just rub the butter between your fingers to get it incorporated, but I find that heats the butter up too much. You could also take 2 butter knives like this and cut it in using this motion. But we're going to go ahead and use the pastry blender for ease and speed today. So you see how I'm doing this? Just kind of pressing into the butter, and it cuts those pieces of butter in. Now you want to work somewhat quickly, because you don't want your butter to heat up. Almost there. Today's a little gloomy here today. How is the weather where you are? I hope you're enjoying some sunshine. All right. And if you have a few pieces of butter that are a bit larger, like the size of a pea, that's perfectly fine. Hope you all can see that. Do you see how that's all cut cut in very nicely. All right. And next, we're gonna add 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. Shake your buttermilk up very well. And now we're gonna just add that all in to our mixture and begin to stir. Now, eventually you're gonna wanna get in there with your hands. But again, not using your hands is, for as much as possible anyway, is best so you don't melt those butter lumps. So the reason why you want them to remain lumps is that as it bakes, the butter melts and creates steam. And that steam are what creates your flaky layers. All right. So now we're gonna get in with our hands. And of course, I've washed my hands. Clean hands are the best tools for baking. And you just kind of press it around. Bring it closer so you can see that. And you don't really want to overwork it. You want it to just get together. And sometimes you need a little bit more buttermilk, depending on your flour. Add just a splash more, maybe a tablespoon or so. There we go. You see how that changed? It starts to bring everything together, which is great. It's exactly what we want. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put some flour on my surface. Get that spread around. Dump my biscuit dough out on the flour surface. And we're gonna pat it out until it's about, maybe 3/4 of an inch thick. Try to form it into a bit of a rough rectangle. And then we're gonna fold it over like that. If your dough is sticking, use a bench scraper like this to bring it all up together. Spread your flour around again. And again, we're gonna pat it out. And you're gonna do this maybe 2 or 3 times, okay? That will help what's called laminate the dough, where you get the thin layers of butter in there. All right. I think that's gonna be enough for us. Now, I don't want to work it too much because then your biscuits will get tough. All right, let me just clean off my hands and I'll be right back. All right, so I've gone ahead and I put a little bit of flour in a bowl so I could flour my biscuit cutter. And you're gonna take a 2-inch cutter, it looks like that, and you're just gonna press straight down. Do not twist the biscuit cutter if you can help it. And then place your biscuits on your pan. This should give you about 6 biscuits. So you're gonna go ahead and take your dough back up, and I'm gonna get one more biscuit out of this. Maybe 2. Again, you don't wanna work it too much. So I've arranged my biscuits on the tray. You do want them to touch. That helps them to rise really well. And I've taken a little bit of buttermilk and I'm just going to brush the tops of them with the buttermilk. And that'll give them a lovely, lovely golden color. All right, and we're ready to bake. We're gonna bake these for about 14 to 17 minutes. Keep an eye on them to make sure they don't brown too much, but I'll see you when they are done. So our biscuits are done. Don't they look delicious? So I'm gonna put them in a bowl and wrap them up in a tea towel, a nice clean tea towel, so they stay nice and warm while my eggs and sausage cook for breakfast. But look at that. See those layers? That's what I was telling you about. So, all right, once my breakfast is done cooking, we'll come back and have a taste. Okay, y'all, so breakfast is cooked. So let's get one of our biscuits out. And again, look at that. See how it just opens right up? So I like a little bit of butter and marmalade on mine. You might like honey or something else, maybe biscuits and gravy. These go really well with that. All right. Whoops, don't want it all over the place. Put some hot sauce on my eggs. All right, so let's have a little taste, shall we? Very light, really good biscuit, very tender. So if you've liked this video, please let me know by subscribing, clicking on the bell, and let me know if you've made the biscuits and what you think. Please leave a comment and have a great day.